Hey guys, the Super Hypersonic here, and I'm here bringing you a Pokemon battle that I had a little while back, and the only reason I'm sharing it is because I thought it was good and a bit funny at the end. Now, I'm not that great at Pokemon battles at all. I like having them, I like playing the game, but I'm not great. I'm none. So, here I'm going to send out Togekiss, and they sent out Dragapult, and of course I have the advantage here being a fairy type, but it's not going to last long. Togekiss is not very defensive. It's purely meant to be more of a scout Pokemon. At least on my team it is. And here they get off a Will-O-Wisp. Dragapult is very fast, so it's going to be faster than me no matter what. And put a burn on me. And I go for a Dazzling Gleam there, and I almost one-shot it, but it holds on with its Focus Sash. And the item I had on Togekiss was a Focus Sash as well, and that burn's gonna just take out my ability to use it. So, of course here I'm trying to think, is there any way I can take out this? Are they gonna swap? And if they are, I might as well swap myself, but they don't. Instead, they use U-turn, which is still technically a swap, but it does damage in the process. So they're going to go ahead and go back, and I try to get off another Dazzling Gleam. Just, like I said, I was trying to think of how I could either take out the Dragapult or plan for a swap. And they swap into Zacian, and that Zacian is going to get an attack boost off of Integrated Sword. So I go for a Dazzling Gleam, and of course it doesn't do a whole lot of damage. It actually did a lot more than I expected, but it doesn't do a lot. So I'm thinking maybe I can get off a Flamethrower here. Maybe they're going to set up. If they don't, they're going to absolutely destroy my Togekiss. So I'm thinking I'm going to try to go for Flamethrower. Flamethrower is actually a fairly high damage fire attack. And of course they go for a setup with Sword Stance. So yes, I'm going to get off that Flamethrower, and that's going to do a hefty amount of damage to that Zacian. But Zacian still survived, with about more or less a third of its health. So now here I am thinking that there's no possible way this Togekiss is going to survive, so should I switch? And I'm thinking about switching to Snuggles there because of its ability to disguise. It can at least take the hit, but then I'm thinking, you know what, no, I need to keep that. I need to keep my access to that ability as much as possible. So I eventually just back out, and I just try to go for another Flamethrower. Maybe they're going to go for two setups, but no, they go for a Behemoth Blade, so I knew Togekiss was done for in that part. And that's going to absolutely annihilate Togekiss. And they even got that critical hit off, and they really didn't need it. Togekiss was done for either way. But now here I'm thinking about who I'm going to send in next, and I believe I go with Snuggles actually, because I know I'm going to need Cinderace to try to deal with their Shedinja. I know they have a Shedinja on their team, and Shedinja, if you don't know, has the ability Wonder Guard, which makes it to where any non-super effective attack cannot hurt it. It has only 1 HP, and as long as the attack is non-super effective, it won't harm it. So here I go for a Phantom Force. I'm thinking maybe I can delay any attacks as much as possible. I want to keep Snuggles in as much as possible. Now Snuggles has a high attack and I think high health on it. I believe I put my IV points into that. So they're going to switch out. They're going to switch out to their Cinderace. And of course I use that Phantom Force and I vanish. So no attack's going to hit me during this next turn. And so all it is just waiting to see what they do. And their Cinderace, being a fire type, you have to worry about if it has the ability Libero, which Libero is the better ability for it. And they have Bounce, and of course it does have Libero. So it changes into the fire. It changes from fire to flying. And it's going to bounce up. So it's going to get that stab boost. it's going to get that stab damage boost off of bounce. So I'm thinking, what can I do here? I can switch to Zacian. Zacian has a resistance to flying, with it being a steel type. So I switched to Zacian just to get some damage, just to be able to take the hit and deal some damage. Like I said, I want to keep Snuggles' disguise ability as much as possible. So, and of course the bounce misses. That surprised me heavily. I thought it was going to hit. So, you know what? I'm going to go for a Behemoth Blade. I'm pretty sure they thought I was going to set up and went ahead and Gigantic. And I didn't set up. I went for a Behemoth Blade. I already have one attack boost, so it's actually going to do a fair amount of damage. And with Cinderace still being a flying type due to its Libero ability, Zacian is almost certainly faster. So it's going to get off the hit with Behemoth Blade. And it's just going to absolutely destroy Cinderace here. I even got a critical hit off of it, which is, again, very surprising. But with Behemoth Blade against a Gigantamax or Dynamax Pokemon, it does a heavy amount of damage. So that's always something you gotta watch out for. If your opponent has Zacian, watch out for that Behemoth Blade. And now they send out Zygarde. Zygarde is a ground dragon type. So I'm kind of worried about his ground type moves, but I know Zacian can kind of tank it. So I'm thinking about what I can do here, whether I should switch or whether I should use one of my moves here again. So I'm going to go for a setup with Sword Statements by that. I'm going to try to go for a setup because they could very well set up themselves, but no, they use Lance Wrath, which is going to do a fair amount of damage to Zacian. Zacian still survives. It still holds on. So I have that 3-stage attack boost. So I'm going to try to go in for a close combat. But they withdraw their Zygarde. And they bring in Shedinja. Like I said, this is the Pokemon I was worried about because Wonder Guard. Like I said, Wonder Guard, it makes it to where any move that is not super effective has no effect on it. So at the moment, I only have really 2 Pokemon that has any sort of super effective move, and that would be Snuggles and Cinderace. So I'm thinking maybe I can swap in Snuggles here. I at least have that damage, that disguise ability left over, so I can at least take a hit once. And it's gonna try to go for a Will-O-Wisp. Now, disguise. Fun fact about disguise: it only works against move damage. If you take damage from burn or from poison or anything else like that, it won't get rid of that disguise ability. It can only be used up if you take damage from a move, and it's going to use Shadow Sneak and get rid of my disguise there. Now, I believe I went for a Phantom Force here just to disappear. Like I said, I wanted Snuggles in as much as possible. And like I said, it has max attack on it, so it's going to go ahead and disappear. Now, I'm wondering if they're going to keep in that Shedinja. Likely they were not. So and I believe they actually did swap, because if they kept in that Shedinja, it was done. And they knew that themselves. Phantom Force is a ghost type move, and ghost against ghost. Oh, no, wait, never mind. It actually had a Focus Sash on. I was not expecting that. And they go for a Shadow Claw, which is gonna almost destroy Snuggles here. But that burn takes out a little bit more damage, a little bit more health. So I'm thinking, should I go for another Phantom Force here? Try to delay another attack. The bad thing is, it's faster. Either it's faster or we're about even. So it's going to get off that Shadow Sneak, and it's going to just take out Snuggles. I tried to go for that Phantom Force, thinking maybe I can get it off, but no. Alright, now I'm trying to think who can take out this Shedinja. I'm thinking maybe Cinderace can be in a fire type and I have fire type moves. The only thing I have to worry about is if it's faster or if they swap Pokemon. Which at this point, I believe they're going to try to swap Pokemon, so I will go ahead and go for my Gigantamax, and I go ahead and use G-Max Fireball. G-Max Fireball doesn't really have any kind of boost to it, but it does do a heavy amount of damage. And they're going to swap into their Zygarde. Now, I'm thinking, okay, Zygarde, not bad. It's just going to resist the fire because of the dragon. Ground does not resist fire, but it's going to have some resistance because of the dragon typing. I'm still going to do a fair amount of damage to it. Now, here comes the G-Max Fireball. Of course, I'm faster than it, so I don't really worry too much. And like I said, I do a fair amount of damage to it. Alright, and now I'm thinking, what could they possibly do now? They're probably going to use the ground type move and try to take out my Cinderace as fast as they can. So I'm thinking I could try to lower its speed or give myself an attack. So I go for Max Strike and try to lower its speed a little bit, just to ensure I'm faster than it. Probably not the smartest move. I should up my attack, seeing how Cinderace is a high attacker and I'm already faster than Zygarde. And of course it has its Power Construct ability, so that what Power Construct does is when Zygarde reaches below half health, it transforms into its complete form. And its complete form is very powerful. So I go for Max Knuckle here just to get my attack boost. It's not going to do a whole lot of damage, but I will have an attack boost. And there's Zygarde. It takes it. It takes it like a champ. Complete Form Zygarde has a lot of health on it, and it's going to do a fair amount of damage with Lance Wrath. So I know here that their next ground attack is going to just annihilate Cinderace. And of course I rush into it. I was going to do a headbutt. I was planning on doing a headbutt, but I rush into it and I get off a flame charge that doesn't do a whole lot of damage. And I was just not thinking after Gigantamaxing. And it's just going to absolutely destroy me. So I'm here thinking all is lost. I can at least take out their Zygarde. I send out Nemu. Nemu is a Gardevoir. Gardevoir is a psychic fairy. That fairy typing's really going to help me, and I believe I believe Nemu is faster. And I use Dazzling Gleam. And of course they send out Shedinja. They knew that Nemu would have destroyed Zygarde, so instead they send out Shedinja. Shedinja's gonna just wipe it off as if it's nothing. So I'm thinking, what can I do here? I don't have any Pokemon that take it out, and they know that, so they're probably gonna just leave it. So I'm thinking, and then I noticed that Nemu has the ability Synchronize, and I remember that their Shedinja has Will-O-Wisp. So I'm going to go for a future sight and hope that they try to get a Will-O-Wisp off. And of course I avoid that first attack, and I'm just thinking, is this really the right call? I go for a Psychic, and of course it still doesn't affect it. But they get off that Will-O-Wisp and put a burn on me. And I'm just like, yeah, no, this is great. This is great, because Synchronize puts a burn on it and it's just going to take it out. The burn is going to wipe it out. There's nothing it can do against it. And I'm just, like I said, I thought this part was hilarious because I forgot that Nemu had Synchronize. Synchronize is useful but only in certain cases. And then it sends out Zacian. Now I'm thinking, okay, Zacian is going to be a lot faster and can annihilate. There's nothing I can do against her. I have my future side attack up though, so I'm hoping that I can do it. Nemu is a high special attack. I put max points into its special attacks, so I'm still thinking it's going to do a fair amount of damage with Future Sight. But instead I send in Primarina. I'm hoping Primarina can at least take the Behemoth Blade, but unfortunately no, it just gets blocked out completely from Behemoth Blade. So Primarina was more so a sacrifice more than anything else, and that Future Sight attack actually took out that Zacian, and I was kind of surprised since it resisted psychic type moves. But it took it out. So I'm thinking I could go in with Nemu, but it's burned. I would have damage over time, and I wouldn't last too long. So instead, I send out my Zacian, which has at least a third of its health left, and they send out Clerics, and they have Ghost Rider Clerics or Shade Rider. So Psychic Ghost, it has a major 4x weakness, but I can't really do anything about it. Instead, I go for a Behemoth Blade, and surprisingly enough, it was enough to take out the Clerics. I got lucky and I took out the Clerics in one shot. And it's all down to the wire here. They have, I believe, 2 more Pokemon left here at the end, and they have Zygarde out. Zacian, of course, being faster than almost all Pokemon, is just gonna wipe it out. I use Close Combat here. There was no need to go for Behemoth Blade, it's not gonna be effective anyways. So I go for Close Combat, which is high attack damage, and I already have an attack buff, so it's gonna take out a bunch of Pokemon easily. And then they have their final Pokemon, which is that Dragapult, with that 1 HP. There's no way it's faster. I put max speed into Zacian, so there's no way that Dragapult can be faster than Zacian, although it is heavily close, and it's just gonna take out that last bit of HP. And unfortunately, they decide to disconnect. They can't handle the loss, but that's it. I just want to share that with you. I thought it was pretty funny. Hope you guys do too.